Let me remind you once again of the wording in which my opponent addressed this debate in his opening speech. He used the phrase, quote, non-consensual testing on living things, close quotes. By using this precise diction, my opponent has altered the debate resolution away from the intended one. Not only should he be penalized for this in the voting of this debate, but it should be noted that humans are the only animals that can consent. If my opponent does not agree with this, which he seemed to indicate in his second speech, why did he use this wording in his first speech? His speeches logically contradict each other. My opponent opens his rebuttal with the phrase, quote, there has never been a context in which animal testing refers to humans, close quotes. I am uneasy with this phrasing. Humans are animals. This is an unquestionable fact of biology. Humans are an animal species that fit into the phylogenetic categorization system under the kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, all the way down to the species name Homo sapien. My opponent has already admitted that testing on consenting humans would be allowed under his proposed plan. Humans being animals and a ban exempting them is reason enough that my opponent has lost this debate. He has spoken for 7 minutes now, all based around a proposal that does not fit the resolution we are here to debate. Requires the use of animals. Requires the use of animals. Requires the use of animals. This is the debate resolution wording. This is what we are here to debate. Humans are irrefutably animals. My opponent concedes to my stance on the debate and thereby should lose this debate round. The phrase I have just mentioned, quote, there has never been a context in which animal testing refers to humans, close quotes, is simply a lie. Thousands and thousands of tests have used and will continue to use humans as their subjects. The judge, as stated in her debate biography, is a social worker. Would the field of social work exist if not for endless experiments and observations using humans as the test subject? My opponent also seems to gloss over the value of human life as a whole. He asks rhetorically if the harms of animal testing are worth the benefit. As I explained in my earlier speech, a ban on animal testing would result in the hindering of scientific progress for an indefinite time period, a time period in which human beings, by the millions and tens of millions, would continue to suffer and die from conditions and diseases that, had science been allowed to study on animals, would have been cured and thereby prevented. My opponent asserts that scientists use certain methodologies because of the status quo or because of their habits. This could not possibly be true. If scientists and science as a whole only use things because they are part of the status quo, how would any progress be made? I do not need to elaborate on the idea that science is undoubtedly progressing, as we live in 2013, and it is different in terms of medicine and scientific knowledge than 1813, or 1913, or even last year. Scientific progress moves forward because we want to better the status quo, not mimic it. In Speech 1, my opponent states, quote, animal testing is used by businesses to make a profit. By testing different chemicals on animals, they are able to profit off these chemicals. However, by enforcing this plan, you have destroyed the incentive in that, close quotes. Then, in his second speech, he says, quote, loss of profit isn't what I was saying. I was saying that specifically using animal testing would no longer be profitable. Firstly, a ban in the United States federal government wouldn't make animal testing less profitable. It would just make it illegal. Illegal animal testing under the Propositions Plan would be just as profitable and maybe even more profitable, as the higher risk involved would warrant more money. Anyways, my opponent is contradicting himself yet again. In one place he talks solely on animal testing profits, then in the second speech he retracts this and says he was not talking about the loss of profit. This flip-flopping is illogical and makes it very difficult to construct a debate because I am unsure, as you the judge must also be, where my opponent stands on this debate, on this issue and many other issues. I have won this debate because my opponent fails to logically construct an argument that satisfies the debate resolution. Thank you very much.